One of the most common and unhelpful tips that people often post on D&D content is telling people that you can fix combat by increasing the difficulty. We're already doing that. Most GMs out there are already giving the monsters more hit points, deadlier attacks, special abilities, all this kind of stuff to try to make the combat somewhat interesting so that the players don't just steamroll across it, because when the players get higher level, even at lower levels, the monsters aren't that tough. The players can just steamroll through. So whenever you're coming up with like a big bad, they have to be homebrewed. Any big bad in a campaign, unless you're buying it from a module, you're homebrewing the hell out of it so you can have something that the players are like, wow, that was actually pretty tough. Everybody's already increasing the difficulty of the monsters to make Dungeons & Dragons work, because the game's combat system, while it is very robust, very cool, and a lot of fun, isn't always exactly balanced. One of the things that you can do to try to make your Dungeons & Dragons combat a lot more fun and effective is by adding environmental effects. I've talked about this before, but essentially when you have things that happen, like having lava flood on in, or even having a random elemental effect table, you can have something that is really themed around the space. Let's say it's a forest that is known to have very deadly snakes in this vicinity. People are getting bit by snakes all the time. In combat, you can have a table like 1 to 10 where you just roll a d10 off it and random things are happening, like snakes are falling out of trees on people. Snakes are trying to bite people in their ankles. Someone is falling into surprise snake pit that they didn't even realize was there. You can have all sorts of these little environmental effects that suddenly make the players realize, oh, the enemy isn't the only problem. We're also facing the world. So this will allow your combat to be interesting, more exciting, and it'll kind of help curb the bit of overpowered feelings that sometimes you can feel like the players might have, or the problem of when you make the enemy too strong, they just end up wiping out the party and everyone's like, that was unfair. So try using environmental effects. They're a lot of fun, you can be very creative, and they're easy to use.